Alright, okay, well, this is Game of Affection, and today I'm going to bring you something slightly different from my normal videos, and that is a quick trip back through memory lane into the very first game that got me hooked on turn-based strategy games. That's right, you can see it on your screen, Sid Meier's Civilization. Now, I'm going to take you through a graphical history of the Civilization games from the very first one to the very recent one. There's been a number of Civilization games for different platforms, and the first one, obviously, Sid Meier's Civilization. Then we have Civilization 2, Civilization 3, Civilization 4. Then it slightly moved on to Civ Revolution. Then back to Civ 5. Then there was a Civilization World, which I've only just discovered myself. That was a Facebook platform game. Then it went on to Civ Revolution 2, and then the most recent one, Civ Beyond Earth. So I'm going to take you through each one, just having a look at the graphical representation and my views on the game as and when I played them. So we start with the very first Civilization, and this is the one that got me hooked on the Civilization games. This one was released in 1991 for a number of platforms, but mainly on the PC, developed by a company called MicroProse. So as you can see from the image here, it's a very basic image. It's a bird's eye view. The cities are just basically squares without any resemblance to actually being a building, just with a number in the middle for the size of the city. Then you've got the units and the ships, basically again just squares that you can move around, and there's a graphical representation of what the unit actually is. There was, I don't think, any sounds to the voices or any background music in this game, but even though it's very simple looking, it is what got me hooked on the games, and I have to say that even having played some of the more recent games, this is still my favourite version of it because it's what got me hooked and it's my earliest memory. Then we come on to Civilization 2. This was released in 1996 on the PC, and was then released 2 years later, 1998, for the PlayStation 1. Again, this was developed by MicroProse. So as you can see from this image, very different from the original version. It's now got a 3D type theme. It's not a bird's eye view. And the characters and the buildings and the trees and everything actually resemble what they're actually meant to be, rather than just having a square and an image on top of it. This again didn't really have many sounds to add to the game, but graphically was a huge improvement on the first game. Then we move on to Civilization 3. This was released in 2001, again on the PC. This time it was developed by Firaxis Games, not MicroProse. Every Civilization game from this point forward was developed by Firaxis Games. Now, with this one, the detail has improved even more, and you can see the little characters. You can zoom in on the screen very easily with the mouse. And I believe this was the first of the Civilization games that actually had expansion packs. And I think I played some of those myself. But so far I have played all three of the Civilizations that I've showed you through now. And Civilization 1 still is my favourite because it brings back so many memories. Then we move on to Civilization 4. This was released in 2005, again on the PC, developed by Firaxis Games. As you can see, the detail has vastly improved, much better, and the control of the game has just improved significantly. There's a lot more around the screen to focus on, and to understand what you're doing and controlling things like keeping people happy in the towns, making sure that you've got enough resources. All of this has had a major development in Civilization 4, and in some ways has made the game a lot tougher, at least for me it was. Then we move on to Civilization Revolution. This was released in 2008 and was a console release. It was released on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Then later it was released on Nintendo DS, developed by Firaxis Games. I played this one recently because it was freely available on Xbox Live Games with Gold. So I took the opportunity to play it through. Very, very different playing it on a console from the PC, particularly when you're using a controller. And my personal opinion of a turn-based strategy game is PC much, much better than console. Just having control of the whole game is much better with a keyboard and a mouse. But the graphics vastly improved, looking very different though from the PC version, but much improvement on that. Then we move on to Civilization 5. This was released in 2010 on the PC. Now I haven't played this one myself. I did consider getting it when it first came out. I'd already at that point just moved on to console gaming on the Xbox 360, and I'd sort of left PC gaming behind. I really wanted to give it a try out. I just didn't have the time, and what I found with these strategy games is that half an hour playing, it doesn't exist. The moment I start playing, if I want to play for half an hour, I'm going to end up playing for 5 or 6 or more, which I have done in the past. So I haven't played this one, so I can't comment on any of the gameplay, but as you can see, another change in the way it looks compared to the previous games. Then we come on to the very final one, the Civilization Beyond Earth, which was released in 2014 on the PC. Again, I haven't played this one. I came very close to getting it because I wanted to play this one because of the off-world aspect to it. It wasn't released on any of the consoles. It was only PC. As you can see, even more of a change of the way the game looks and feels, but I can't comment on any of the actual gameplay. Well, that brings me to the end of the history of Sid Meier's Civilization. Very brief, but I hope that you found the images interesting, and if you're one of the sort of people that have only recently joined the Civilization community playing on Beyond Earth or Civ 5, then maybe this will surprise you how it looked on Civ 1 back in 1991. But one of the questions that I hear people often ask is there going to be a Civilization 6? Well, Civilization Beyond Earth was only released the latter end of 2014, so it's probably going to be quite a while before they look at moving on. And whether it's going to be Civilization 6 or Beyond Earth 2, who knows. But what I'd like to know is what all of you Civilization players would like to see if there was a version 6 of Civilization. So, in the comments below, just let me know what you want to see in Civilization 6. I hope you enjoyed this very brief history through Sid Meier's Civilization games. Please make sure, if you liked it, hit that like button and subscribe. And keep out for future videos coming soon.